you. Today is Sunday, October 19th, nice and cold. Definitely fall is here. If you listened to our podcast last week, it was based upon, it was called Simply My Life, okay? And so that was more or less just introducing the audience to me as a person and my life and how I got into fitness. Now, the second part of this podcast will be same title, Simply My Life, but it'll be based on Chie's story of how she got into fitness, how she got into life, because she's from Japan. So it's an interesting story that a country girl from Japan meets up with ex-Doug from Inglewood, and we've been together about 21 years. So with no further ado, introducing, I'm Sir Earl, and introducing you to my co-host, Miss Chie, figure prodigy to Louis. And now, with no further ado, we'll get to her story behind where we are today, how we get there and where we are today. So, with no further ado, Chie, how did you get started in fitness?
Well, first, happy Sunday, everyone. This is Chie, coming from Underdog is on Top Studio. For Sunday, last Sunday, actually, I was going to interview Earl, so I guess this is vice versa. You will interview me today. So, first, I am from Towada City, Aomori Ken, which is the state in Japan. It's a really small town in mainland and north of Japan in the mainland. So I was always active as kids when I was young, and of course the school I was always A+ on the gym, and gym and art. But anyway, so but as people knows, a lot of Japanese people are really petite, right, small. I always had a complex about how my physique was. I was a little bit more fluffier, I would say, as a kid. I loved to eat. I was a healthy, but I'd never been the skinny girl in Japan. Here, yes, I'm a more so petite in here, but in Japan I wasn't. And I always look everybody else, my friends, and why I'm not, skinny like them. So I always had a self-esteem issue. I know that. I did play many sports, basketball, tennis. I did martial arts for 6 years. I'm a black belt of Kendo, which is a Japanese art form. Kendo is soulship. And from there, the last year of high school, I became the girls rock band. I was guitarist, and then that's kind of completely different. But I was so interested into the punk rock, the Kiss and Sex Pistols and all of that. And from there, the one day I went to a bowling alley with my friends, and first time in my life I saw the music video, and that music video was Bobby Brown. And, the dancing to the music, I just fell in love. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to dance, right? So I started, even though country in Japan, we had TV. So in Tokyo at the time, it was called Soul Train. I like to hear Soul Train Japan. They were recording in Tokyo. And just like they copied it, and all the dancers look just like one in the United States on the TV. And they are Japanese people though, so they used to have a little segment of, okay, today we are practicing Robert Cop or Roger Rabbit or something like that. So I started to practice dancing and became hip hop dancer. I used to open up fashion shows or like a club or stuff like that on the side. Actually, matter of fact, right after, when I discovered I love dancing, I actually pursued to become an aerobics instructor because, okay, I'm in a small, town. It's no like a club or anything, but what can I do to have dance as my job? And so that's why I'm like, okay, I can become an aerobics instructor. Actually, that was my beginning of the fitness. It's really unique. And then I got hired in a swimming school. That was at the time, it's called Sunfish Swimming School in my city. And they were aerobics instructor to, physical fitness, personal trainer, and a swimming instructor job they were hiring. So I got hired by that company. And I teach swimming, so I was a swimming instructor as well for 3 years, and I became an aerobics instructor there. And that was it, and I just fell in love with the dancing and kind of incorporated to my aerobics class. So at the time, one of the class that I actually took to more expand my education, funk class, the aerobics class that, teach funk. So when I took that class, this instructor, she was ripped. I mean, she was tall. She's Japanese though. She was tall and just looked so good. Muscle popping up and suntan skin, and it is just like really coming out from a TV at the time for me, you know. Um, so when I finished the class, I went to her, asked her like, I'm an aerobics instructor too, but your body is completely different. I'm like, what do you do? So she actually told me she compete as a bodybuilder. And that's actually my, starter off the weight training, like a serious weight training, because that her body was just banging. So I said I wanted to be like her. So I researched in my city, which is a small town. I didn't even know they had a weight training gym, but they did. There were Santan Studio, but then there also the behind, that was like the freeway weight training gym connected to it. And come to find out, his name is Mr. Kato, which is now, he is the North of Japan chairman of the Japanese Bodybuilding Federation. It is just crazy to how, my life is just like a relate to, when I kind of go back to see, how I came up. It's all of that, just like the Steve Jobs said. At the time you would never know, or you don't have no idea what you're pursuing. But then when you look at back, I see the dots is just connecting that came to this point, And so what happened was that Mr. Kato was the chairman of the Japanese Bodybuilding Federation, but at the same time he was a powerlifter, and he was a champion of a powerlifter, and he had a picture with the Arnold, and it is just like, oh my God. And so he kind of taught me beginning of basic lifting, and that's how I start. But then what happened, I got married. And so my ex-husband was in the military at the time, so we had to move to San Diego for 1 year so he can get out the military. And then actually, after the San Diego, he from Chicago. That's how I ended up in Chicago. And became American, like started eating American food. That's where I became overweight. I had a second baby and third baby. And with the pregnancy, with eating a completely different diet, got me to 175 pounds with the high cholesterol issues, unhealthy. And the doctor told me that, I'm too young. I was 26. My cholesterol was 280. And that's where she told me either you take a medication or you gotta, eat, go to the gym or something. So I'm like, okay, let me go back to what I used to do, which is the fitness, you know, physical fitness. Go back to work out 3 times a week, eating healthy. That's what I started back, actually. And
Okay.
it's a long story.
Based on, okay, first thing that I want to get out to the audience, you have how many kids and how old are they?
So I have 3 children. My oldest is 31, just turned 31, and my second daughter is 29, and my son is 27.
Okay.
I cannot believe that.
Now, how did you exactly go about getting your start in fitness?
Well, so I was already instructor, you know, back in it when I was in Japan. So when I started going back to the gym, that's where, you know, to take care of myself. And that was kind of beginning of going back to fitness, I would say, world in this United States. But at the same time, I was not really, you know, lifting. I don't have a lot of knowledge of lifting like right now I do, you know what I mean? So I was always looking for someone to, you know, show me like right way, because at the time, Bally's, I used to go to Bally's, and these guys are, well, let me show you how to do the squat, and then, but you don't have legs, so how am I going to listen to you, you know what I mean? Which is, they just want to talk to me, whatever. But anyway, so I was just always looking for, I'm like, man, I wish someone can teach me how to do correct way to, you know, weight training, because I literally tell clients now, it's a weight training is a skills. You know, you literally 5-degree angle can change how, you know, the whole another muscle group that you're training. You know what I mean? So, and I ended up going to Body by Ivory and started. And from there, I lost weight. I had a certification about personal training, and I became a personal trainer. And so, and after that, actually, that I heard that Ratio 101 was hiring woman trainer. Back in the day, 25 years ago, woman trainer was not popular at all. So that was like, to me, was an opportunity to kind of, you know, see what I can do, or more, I can experience more, now, you know, the train different type of clients, because I always want my goals to be the best, become a best trainer. You know, I can train man, woman, young, old, you know, the athlete or non-athlete. So it just, that wasn't my goal. So when I came into Ratio, to see that the first private one-on-one training, and I saw how the Ratio is set up. It was not big, but it is so class. I mean, copied to coordinate the color of the machine. And I was just like, wow, this, whoever owns this know what, you know, what he doing. And which has ended up you, Sir Earl. You know what I mean? So, and after that, I find out, you know, Earl was Mr. Illinois in '94 in the bodybuilding, and also the judge. And like that, then, okay, this man know how to build body. Not only that, I mean, you know, how to do first, like, build this great one-on-one personal training studio. So I was really like a sponge. I wanted to learn everything this man know, you know what I mean? So I didn't care the first, you know, personal training, you get paid how many people ever you train, you know. So if you don't train people, you don't get paid, right? So, but we all have to start from one client. And at the time, I didn't have no clients. I have like independent clients first outside the Ratio. But then I put my free time to kind of shadow Earl, to kind of how engage with the clients, how sell the package. And, you know, it just, like I said, I was just like everything I want, I want to learn. I mean, it's there. It's just a free education to me. People will say, well, you don't get paid just being there. It was, to me, it's more so this is a way better than school or the books that I read. You know what I mean? Because I can be there, the actual clients and the hands-on, and you can learn about a lot of different things about personal training business. Yeah, so.
So what is your opinion on fitness today? On the fitness world today?
So from that to, of course, experiences so many different things and different clients, and at the same time, I started competing in 2003. That was always my dream, and I wanted to one day start competing. And figure came out 2002 as a new category, and we researched, and the first competition was Illinois State Championship in 2003, and I placed the 5th place within the 28 girls. So Earl told me, well, you continue to do it. I know you can win the show. So it took us 6 years, 2009, and I became Miss Figure Illinois. And from there, just every year I competed and won regional, Chicagoland, and after that I went down to Classic. So personal training, as I'm learning, and also I'm experiencing about competing as a competitor, how your diet should be, how your training should be, and all of that. And to come after 20 years to become IFBB Figure Pro, and just won, the Chicago Pro, the 50s division, I won that, and the 40s division, I placed 5th place, and open division in the figure Chicago Pro, I placed at the 11th place. I was just 1 point difference of top 10. So it came a long way, but I feel like I survived this long because I was only competing once or twice a year. Many girls compete, 4, 5, 6 times a year. I don't even think my body could, handle after 20 years doing that. So I'm seeing how I came up to now is, of course, it's a more category, and as far as the bodybuilding industry, to me that it's good thing because everybody now, I guess, they feel like they can compete and they be in the gym is great, but at the same time kind of lost the meaning of what's the true meaning of building your body, because now it's like fit model category. You don't even have to really train that much. You can just go in there because they said they don't want to see the muscles. They don't want to see the cut. I mean, so it's a different, for me as a personally, I don't feel so much specialty being, oh, IFBB Pro, because now it's like everybody competing, everybody pro, you know what I mean? And they think that me and you in the same level, So, it's a kind of great thing, but it is sad things to me, you know what I mean? But I'm more at the end of the career as far as competing, so, I hope that this is health and fitness things, and hope everybody can learn about true meaning of what bodybuilding is, because I'm really lucky enough to know old school bodybuilding, how they train, because before they didn't have no figure athlete way to compete or bikini athlete way to compete. That was a bodybuilding way to compete, to train. I'm talking about training, sorry. So not the figure weight training, bikini weight training, no. That was the bodybuilding training. So I know how to train from head to toe, all the body parts in any gym. When I went back to Japan to do my tour 14, 15 years ago, in Japan, there was a smaller gym. It's just only what they have the iron. They didn't have no these of fantasy, machine and stuff like that. So I have to figure out how to utilize those old school barbell, just the dumbbell to train these girls, or that I had a couple of guys as well. So, I'm so glad that I experienced that part of it, old school bodybuilding training to the also industry, to meet all of the excellent bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding people, to now it's more so the experience in new way, to how the fitness is a new way, the training to the athlete and stuff like that. So I feel good and know both, because I feel bad a person that don't know nothing about old school bodybuilding, because that's where it's truly people would just eat, train, sleep, and gain muscle, But nowadays it's more so like a lot of scientists, let's figure it out, put this thing in the body and where to stimulate muscle. Okay, that's fine too, but at the end of the day, if you don't train hard, you don't gain muscle, period, So